Hello, welcome to Monday Night Facebook Live. Hello. Hope you can join me live on the call, and if you're watching the recording afterwards. Hi and welcome. How are you feeling? We're another week along, the landscape is changing, things are starting to open up a little bit with the whole COVID, pandemic, lockdown experience. So how are you feeling? Just take a moment to reflect inwards on how the last week has been for you and where are you at. And if you're on the call live, then please say hi in the chat box. I don't see who's on the call. You guys can see who's on the call, but I don't get to see who's on the call through the dashboard. So just say hi in the chat box so I know you're joining me. So another week into the journey and the experience, and I wanted to share something with you. Tonight is about the slipstream, and when I tuned in and asked what would be of service for us to explore tonight, I got the word slipstream. Had no idea really what that was about, but it's been coming to me today what that's about, and I've been having a direct experience of it myself in terms of why it's significant to explore that at the moment. Hi Mary Lou, thank you for saying hello. So today when I was out and about, haven't been out for a few days, just been generally staying in, doing a lot of writing at the moment. And I went out to catch up with a friend and take dogs for a walk. And as I was driving to the dog park that we go to, there was a lot of traffic on the road. Perfectly normal thing a few months ago to experience a lot of traffic on the road. But I was really actually kind of confronted by it. Like, who are all these people? For some strange reason, I thought that, a couple of months ago when I went on an outing on the road and there were no cars on the road, suddenly I felt like this was going to be my new normal. No one else would ever come back on the road. I'd have the roads to myself, no traffic, no fast cars going past me, nothing for me to navigate. I'd just be able to be a Sunday driver for the rest of my life. That was going to be my new normal. Crazy lady. So the number of cars on the road, suddenly it was, the traffic was banked up and I was starting to get stressed because I was running late, and I planned on a very short drive and it turned out to be a long drive, just waiting for traffic lights to change and all the traffic to clear. And I realized that I wasn't ready to be in the world. I was still going about life in my bubble and experiencing life in my bubble and the slower pace of that and the quietude, and I wasn't ready to be in the world and the busyness of it. And the energy, the pace of the energy and the busyness of the energy and the volume of the energy. Because while we've been in lockdown and we've been in our bubble, we haven't dealt with the outside energy. And if anything, all the energy outside of us has kind of slowed down and quieted along with everyone else being in their bubble. And so there hasn't been this noise in the mass consciousness. There hasn't been this speed and acceleration that we're so used to, the busyness of life. And I realized when I was out and about today that I wasn't actually ready for it. And last week when we gathered on Facebook Live, we talked about some of the tensions that we might be feeling coming back into the world, and a little bit of anxiety around keeping up with the pace of things. And so today, in talking about the slipstream, it's really about exploring how can we flow with life in a way that we don't lose the things that we've gained over this time being in our bubbles and learning more about what feels right for us. That we don't have to suddenly rush on the freeway of life and keep up with things and pick up where things left off. But how do we actually flow with life without resisting it and actually without losing the things that we've gained? Hi Kath, lovely to have you join the call. So those of you that are live on the call, while we're waiting for a few more people to come in, how has your week been? How has the energy felt for you? How have you noticed the energy around you? And what's that felt like for you? So if you can just chat in the chat box and let me know how you're feeling things at the moment. Might be in your own energy, the people around you, or as you're out in the world a little bit more, how have you been experiencing it? Just wait for a couple of comments in the chat box. So what I was noticing in the energy around me was that it was going faster than my own internal energy. There was more of it, so the volume of it was more than my solitary energy and the quietude that I've been in. And that it started to ramp up in a way that I started to feel stressed and I'd probably say a bit overwhelmed. So what about you guys that are live on the call? How have you been finding the energy? There might be a little bit of lag in your typing and my reading, and that's okay. Have you found the energy around you a bit more congested than it was? Are you maybe excited about the energy kind of picking up pace? You might be feeling like, thank goodness, I'm bored, I'm tired of being on my own, I want a bit more excitement. So Kappa said it's good to see family and friends. Traffic this morning was very heavy. Luckily I was walking. Yes. Yeah, so it really is, traffic is a good word for it in terms of it's not just the cars on the road and the trucks and the busyness on the roads. It's the traffic of energy around us. And whilst we've been at home and there hasn't been a lot going on in the world apart from the news headlines, the traffic everywhere, the volume of energy everywhere has slowed down, and now it's starting to pick up. And as businesses open and as we start to get active, we're going to find that that energy picks up more and more. Okay, so just a few people on the call tonight, which is lovely. I found last week a lovely intimate group. So we'll keep going, and as you chat, I'll pick up on those comments. So the question is really, how do we manage our energy? How do we take the learning that we've had during this quiet time of lockdown and some of the good things that people have been sharing over the last few weeks that they've experienced that they don't want to lose? How do we take that forward as the pace of life picks up? So we can either get caught up in the energy ourself and start to lose ourself in that energy. Mary Lou has said, the inconsideration, rudeness, and not being aware of others is starting to return, and trying not to react to it. Yeah, so we kind of lose ourselves in that busyness, particularly the bigger the city. I find the more the energy is kind of like a get out of my way, a kind of a fight for survival energy. And so without being aware of other people, we just cut our way through. The horns honk, people don't say the pleases and thank yous, the smiles start to disappear, the connection starts to dissolve as we just become focused on getting through the volume of people. So it's almost like the more busyness there is, the more we have to cut through, and so the more we lose our awareness of the people around us and the effect that our energy is having on them as much as the effect their energy is having on us. Thanks for that, Mary Lou. So how do we actually handle our own energy as we step out of our bubble of isolation and come back into the world and start to re-emerge? So we can get caught up in the energy around us. We can say, well, that's not our energy, and stay in our own bubble of isolation, which the first one will lead us to becoming exactly that person that Mary Lou's comment was about. We start to lose sight of everyone around us when we get caught up in the energy. And so we start to dissolve into the energy around us. We can say, well, that's not our energy, and we can stay in our bubble and kind of hide away from the world or go through the world oblivious of what's going on around us, which is equally disconnected to the people around us. We can say, well, we'll just have to flow with it and accept what is, and the tendency with that is that we'll go back to the previous norm, the way we used to operate within ourselves and within the world, and eventually lose the things that we've gained. Hi Meg, thanks for joining the call. Or Mary Lou has just added, when things slowed down, I opened up more, felt more expanded and peaceful, really focusing on maintaining that. Beautiful. So that's the other option, is to take with us the positive things that we have experienced within ourselves during this period of quietude, and find a way to actually flow with life rather than resist it, whilst maintaining that sense of self. And whatever we discovered about ourselves during the lockdown and the isolation period, that is our connection with our true self. That is a quietude that enables us to go inwards and to experience more of ourself. So it's about maintaining that connection within while we're operating in the external world. So what I'd like to do tonight is kind of go into, hi James, thank you for joining, is go into a process where we actually stay connected with our own energy, and at the same time align with more universal energy, because our inner energy is connected with universal energy. And so that peacefulness that we've experienced during lockdown is the peacefulness of universal energy as much as it is the peacefulness of our own soul, our higher self, our spirit, our true self. So when we align with more universal energy, we're not ignoring the world around us, but we're kind of going into that slipstream. And when you think about slipstream, maybe you can, guys that are live on the call, hi Margaret, thank you for joining. Maybe if you're live on the call, what does the word slipstream actually suggest for you? If you close your eyes and just ask, what is a slipstream? What does that mean for me? That's the energy that we're tapping into tonight in the process we're going to go through. So if you're to step into a slipstream, what does that mean for you? What are some of the feelings that come with that word? It helps to kind of get a sense of what that energy is, so we can really step into it during the meditation process. It's just going to be a process that we can use going forward. Be a lovely thing for us to do in the morning when we start our day, is to step into the slipstream of more universal energy. So Mary Lou has said getting caught in external energy. Meg has said ease. Yep. So Mary Lou, when we talk about the slipstream of universal energy, that is more the energy of ease rather than the energy of mankind, if you like, that we create on the planet. It's stepping into that more universal energy, universal flow, the divine energy of which we're part of a much bigger picture of the universe. So thank you for those additions. So that's what we're going to focus on tonight, is whilst we're in the world, we don't have to be of the physical world and some of the chaos or busyness or pace of life that we might actually have found a greater sense of self during the lockdown, in stepping out of that pace. So it's about how do we operate in this world without getting caught up in the energy, that external energy that Mary Lou is referring to, but actually not need to hide ourselves away. And the answer to that is perhaps to learn how to step into the slipstream of universal energy, to become more in flow with that. And that aligns with our higher self and our spirit and our soul and our heart, and that inner peace and that ease with which we can then flow with life without needing to resist or block or put up guards and protection. So Kath has said, taken along for the ride, that's the slipstream, not as much personal energy required. Great point there, yeah, because we're flowing with ease with it, and it's kind of carrying us along the way. Kath has said, getting with the flow, yep, absolutely. So when we're in a slipstream, it's like the energy carries us and we get to float along with it, flow along with it. Sometimes it'll be faster, sometimes it'll be slower, but we're in the center of the stream as well. So sometimes I think of slipstream as if you think about a river and there's the bulk of water, and the slipstream is right in the middle, where there's no friction. We're not grabbing at the banks of the river or the rocks at the bottom or the choppiness of the air on the surface, but we're in that middle state where there's no friction, nothing to cling onto, nothing to catch us up, that we're just flowing with that ease at the pace with which the river knows to flow. So all of those comments really, really apply. So what I think we'll do is just go straight into a process that we can use to learn how to be in a state of flow with life without grabbing at the banks of the river or grazing our knee on the rocks underneath, to actually go in that center slipstream, flow with that universal energy. So I hope that sounds good for you. I'm going to have a sip of joy. And we're going to slip straight into the slipstream of the process for tonight. So I would invite all of us to simply close our eyes. Those of us that are on the call live and those that are joining afterwards, just simply close our eyes and let's take a few slow, deep breaths. With each breath, breathing deep into the belly, taking 3 slow breaths, breathing in fresh new energy, and just letting go of any tension, any worries or concerns. Just letting them go, knowing we can pick them up later on if we wish to. But for now, let's just take this time out to be present and to go within. And as we do, let's call in that beautiful radiant white light from that point about a meter, 3 feet above our head, our 8th chakra or energy center. Imagine a beautiful radiant light shining down from that point above our head. And then imagine bringing that beautiful radiant light, allowing it to come down, a beautiful column of light to enter into the crown of our head, just gently filling the crown chakra with this beautiful radiant white light. And imagine the white light allowing it to flow down the central column of our body down to the 3rd eye area. Filling that brow energy center with white light. And just allowing the energy to continue to flow down into the throat area, our center of expression. And bringing the white light down through the central column of our body into the heart chakra. Bringing this beautiful radiant white light into our heart center. And as the energy continues its journey downward, it comes into the solar plexus area, just below our rib cage where our diaphragm is, filling this energy center at the solar plexus with a beautiful white light. And as the energy continues to flow down through the central column of our body, it flows into the sacral chakra, the energy center just below the navel, below the belly button, just filling this energy center with this beautiful radiant white light, the energy from our higher self. And the energy continues to flow down from that sacral area down to the base of the spine, to the root chakra, filling the energy center there with radiant white light. And then allow the energy to continue its journey down through your legs, and down through the soles of your feet, and down into the earth beneath you, as far down into the earth as the energy needs to go for you to feel really anchored and grounded and centered within your energy. So you're connected from above and below. And then just imagine surrounding your greater energy field in all directions in a bubble of white light, about 1 meter in all directions. Just imagine sealing your energy in a bubble of white light. And surrounding it in a circle of blue flame, as we've done before, setting the intent that your energy field is now sealed and you are safe and protected, shielded and supported on all levels of your being. And then just bring your awareness back into your heart center. And just set the intent that you are flowing in alignment with universal energy. That you wish to flow with the flow of universal energy. And imagine yourself moving into the slipstream of universal flow. Feel within your heart that you are now flowing with the slipstream of universal energy. With that divine source energy and that divine wisdom and connection with all that is. That you're flowing with the streaming of that energy. And as you do, allow yourself to flow with the energy of divine will. With that divine will, that divine wisdom, to flow with it, to flow in harmony with divine will. Imagine yourself flowing in the slipstream of divine timing. That everything is flowing as it's meant to flow, when it's meant to flow. Everything is flowing and unfolding and happening with divine timing. Really let go into the slipstream of that energy. And letting go of any need to control things, allow yourself to flow with the slipstream of divine ease. That everything flows easily and effortlessly. Allow yourself to feel what that feels like, that effortless divine ease. And allow your energy to flow with the beauty of divine grace. Feel what that divine grace, that flow of grace feels like. It's not only easeful as that heavenly beauty of grace, the elegance of that divine flow. And as you flow in the slipstream of universal energy, allow yourself to be carried by the energy of divine synchronicities. That everything is lining up as it's meant to be. Everything is coming together however it is meant to. With that divine flow, without you needing to do anything to make things happen. And allow yourself to be in the slipstream of divine abundance, divine opportunities, divine limitless possibilities. Feel the energy of that in the slipstream as you're flowing with life, flowing with divine abundance and limitless possibilities. And as we flow in that slipstream of life, allow yourself to be carried by the energy of divine love. To be carried by the heart of the universe in the slipstream of the loving energy of the divine, that all-encompassing loving energy. Allow yourself to feel the warmth as it carries you along, surrounded by divine love, it filling you as you flow in that slipstream. And as you do, allow yourself to be held in the energy of divine acceptance as you're flowing That divine acceptance is carrying you along. There's nothing we need to resist or hold on to. There's that beautiful slipstream of divine acceptance that carries us beautifully, however and wherever we're flowing to or from. Feeling the ease of that divine acceptance. And as the universal energy carries us through, feel the slipstream of divine joy and how light the energy is as it's carrying you. As you're flowing with joy, feel that divine energy. And allow that universal slipstream to carry you with divine purpose. That there is purpose to the flow and to the ways in which it carries you. And then finally, feel yourself in that slipstream of divine oneness, that connection with all that is. Knowing that as life is carrying you and you're flowing in oneness with that divine universal energy, that all truly is well. And as you set that intent to flow with the slipstream of divine universal energy, let us close by simply saying, so be it. Setting that intent, so be it. And as we set that intent that we are now flowing one with that universal energy, with ease, with grace, with divine love and acceptance, purpose and joy, in oneness with all that is, just allow yourself to feel that within your heart, within your body, within your mind, as you slowly take a couple of slow, deep breaths, coming back into your awareness of the space that you're in, the room you're in, the chair you're seated on. As you slowly give your fingers and toes a bit of a wriggle, have a bit of a stretch. And whenever you feel ready, just gently opening your eyes. And for those of you that are on the call live, if you can just say that you're back, so I know everyone has come back into the here and the now. Welcome to those that joined the call while we were in the meditation. Hello, Mish. Hi, Fiona, Robin. So how did you find that? I'm going to assume that you're back. I know Mish is back. Those that are on the call, if you can just chat, how did you find that slipstream process? Did you have any difficulties with it? What did it feel like for you? Thumbs up from Simone. I love that icon that you've done. You're welcome, Kath. Wonderful. Does that feel like something you might be able to use to help you flow with life in a way that's right for you, that is in alignment with your higher self, that maintains some of the benefits that you've gained during this lockdown process without needing to get caught up in the rat race or the world around you, that you can flow in harmony with the world around you whilst maintaining your own energy in alignment with your highest good. Mish has said life-changing. Simone has said love the shivers as realignment happens. Wonderful shift, thank you. Feeling supported, Meg. Beautiful. So this is something that we can use anytime, but certainly I would suggest it's a great tool to use if you find yourself starting to get caught up, anxious, overwhelmed, feeling like you're losing yourself back in as you step back into the world. It's a really beautiful process to help not only ground our energy, but keep flowing, but at a pace and in a vibrational frequency that is not just right for us, but will actually support us to flow and to create more efficiency within our energy, that we're not wasting energy trying to grab onto the banks of the river. We're not expending energy on things that actually don't need our attention, and we're flowing with divine timing and order and purpose. So there's a sense of trust there that whatever needs our attention, we'll give it to, but there are plenty of things that don't actually need our attention, that we can actually just keep flowing along. James has said the energy flowed as soon as I thought the word intention. Well done. Mary Lou has said I feel de-worried, de-stressed. Well, you've said distressed, Mary Lou, but I hope that's de-stressed. In a state of allowing and trusting. Yes, we'll be doing that again. Smiley face, beautiful. Kath has said feeling very calm and relaxed. Excellent. And actually that's just reminded me, Mary Lou made a comment last week that some of the essential oils that she's been using have been helpful for grounding her energy as well. So I just want to put that out there, that essential oils are a great way of us maintaining our energy. They're a great supportive tool that can assist us. Those of you that have worked with me before will know that I use Doterra Oils. So if this balance oil was one in particular that Mary Lou has found useful. It's one of my favorite oils. It's very grounding. So if you do find that you need a little bit more extra support to take with you, that maybe during the day you don't have the space to do a visualization, but using an essential oil, rubbing it on your pulse points or on the back of your neck, or just inhaling it will help bring some grounding and balance and help you flow with life in a way that is more effortless and easeful, then by all means message me and we can have a chat about what oils might be beneficial for you. So just know that there are plenty of tools here, that we don't have to be absorbed back into life the way it was. We don't have to pick up where we left off. We can use this as a bit of a pivot point as we re-emerge out of lockdown to do things differently going forward, to be different in our energy and to take ownership of our energy, that we don't have to hurry and step back onto the mouse wheel that we might have stepped off of. Mish has said me too, yes. I think that's in relation to the oils, so the essential oils help you, Mish. And Mary Lou has said works wonderfully. So thank you for that, Mary Lou. And does anyone have any other comments to add, any questions at all about the exercise we've done, or just how to manage energy, or any concerns you have perhaps about things going on around you, how to cope with them before we finish the call? Happy to open it up to any questions. One thing I would say is I've been having a bit of an influx of requests to do soul readings, and I think that is an indicator that people are using this time to really reflect on what is my purpose and why am I here, that as we step out of our bubble of isolation, we are doing so in a purposeful way. So using the meditation that we've just done to be flowing with divine purpose is one way of really connecting with that purpose, even if we're not consciously aware of what is my particular purpose. When we're flowing with divine purpose, with divine timing, with divine grace, we will be guided in fulfilling our purpose, even if we're not consciously realizing that we're doing it. By simply showing up and being who we are and flowing with that universal energy, we will be automatically fulfilling our purpose. So if that's something that feels like it's calling you at the moment to be stepping forward more in alignment with your purpose for being here, then this meditation is a good way of aligning with that. Or if you're curious for more, then you can always book in for a soul reading. But this is not a plug for that. It's actually to say that simply showing up and aligning with our higher self and these universal energy and the divine guidance of that, we will automatically be fulfilling our purpose. Hi Tony, lovely to have you on the call. We are in the process of finishing up, so you might like to watch the replay. Looks like there's no questions or anything. I hope you found this useful tonight. And it seems like the numbers are decreasing, probably as people are starting to step back into the busyness of life. So we might just have a check-in as to what's going to be the most useful format for these Facebook Lives going forward, if they're continued or not. So any comments you might have to add to that, those of you that are on the call, whether or not you'd like these Facebook Lives to continue, those that are watching the call afterwards, the replay, if you found them valuable, if there's anything in particular you'd like them to focus on, or perhaps we might do them less frequency. So I'm open to how these calls can best serve you, because that's the purpose of them, and how we can move forward, perhaps creating more community through these calls. And it might be through a different medium, different topics, different explorations. So really, at this point, I'm kind of handing it over a bit more to say what would serve you best. If anything, you might be fine. You might feel like you've gotten through this period and not needing anything further. Or if you'd like the calls to continue, then what would be most beneficial for you? Mish, so happy you can re-listen to meditation. You're welcome. Well timed for Meg, because you're getting back into work. Hi Karen, we're just finishing up, but hopefully you'll listen to the replay. You're welcome, Kath, thank you. And also to Mish for your comments, thank you as well. So I will leave it there for tonight. Thank you so much for joining the call live or watching the recording. And like I say, I really welcome your feedback, how these calls can benefit you the most. And if they've done their bit and there's no more need for them, great. If there's more that would be useful to you, then that's also great. All feedback and suggestions are welcome. So have a wonderful week. Be in that slipstream, enjoy the flow. Drop me a line during the week to let me know how it works for you, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Bye for now.